annual fifth grade send-off. Behind me, we have a wonderful, awesome, stupendous fifth grade students who have done such a great job as leaders in our school this last year. And of course, we've enjoyed many of them from kindergarten on, and we've had others come and join us along the way in first grade, second grade, third grade, some even are new for fifth grade. So we're so pleased and happy that you're here to join us this evening to celebrate them and their leaving of elementary school and moving on to middle school and beyond. I'm going to turn it over now to Mrs. Alexander, and we'll start our evening with a couple of songs. and girls. While they're taking their seats in front of me, let's give them another round of applause. At this time, I would like to introduce our staff who are in attendance this evening. And I'm going to start with our kindergarten teachers. Kindergarten teachers, will you please stand? Mrs. Richards, Mrs. Striggs, Mrs. Carazales. Unfortunately, Mrs. Pyle is not able to be with us this evening. So she's here. She's here. Oh, she's with her family?
She's all right back.
Hi, Mrs. Pyle. I hadn't seen you. Thank you, kindergarten teachers. Our first grade teachers, you'll stand, please. Mrs. Shell, Mrs. Keene, and Mrs. Nixon. Thank you very much. Our second grade teachers, please, if you'll stand. Mrs. Bartlett, Mrs. Epperson, and Mrs. Stoyle. Fortunately, Mrs. Broshak is not able to be with us this evening. So thank you, second grade teachers. Grade teachers, if you'll stand, please. Mrs. Snyder, who's been helping with sound behind the scenes. Also Mrs. Baker and Mrs. Anderson. And Mrs. Richards is here as a substitute for Ms. Skapik, who is on maternity leave. Thank you, ladies. Our fourth grade teachers, if you'll please stand. Mrs. Spickus, Miss Zallo, and Mrs. Stino. Mrs. Schaefer is on medical leave, so she's not able to be with us. I'm going to introduce a former fourth grade teacher who has come back to see her fourth graders graduate and then be sent off, and that is Miss Hendershot. Now, she's married, so I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, so I'm going to still, you know her as Miss Hendershot, I know her as Miss Hendershot, so glad you're with us, Miss Hendershot. Our support staff, if you will please stand. And Mrs. Fox, if you'll please come down and join us also. So if you are not a classroom teacher and you're a Legend Elementary staff person, would you please stand so I can introduce you. Mrs. Fox. Elected Mrs. Fox. She's been helping set up the refreshments and various other things to get ready for this evening. So Mrs. Fox, as you know her, Legend Elementary Health Day. Mrs. Mathis, one of our intervention specialists, and Mrs. Mathis is retiring at the end of this school year, so be sure to wish her well as you see her, at the end of the program. We certainly will miss her. Also Ms. Stutz, an intervention specialist, and Ms. Blueberg, an intervention specialist, all three standing together. Mrs. Johnson and Mrs. G, both literacy coordinators. We appreciate the work that we do with our students every day. And finally, last but not least, for sure, is our school counselor, Mrs. Fisher. Please give them a round of applause. I'm going to invite a kindergarten staff member up to talk to you and give you a little words of wisdom to send you. Kindergarten, Mrs. Richards.
I know that as fifth graders, kindergarten seems like such a long time ago, but as I look at you now, it seems like just yesterday. Much learning takes place in kindergarten. The author, Robert Fulham, says, "All I really need to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Some of the most important things are share everything, play fair, don't hit people, put things back where you found them, clean up your own mess, don't take things that aren't yours, say you're sorry when you hurt somebody, and when you go out in the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together." These lessons are still true, whether you are in kindergarten or starting middle school. The Legend Elementary kindergarten teachers wish you well as you continue your education in middle school. And we hope you remember to always hold hands and stick together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Richards. And now, first grade, speaking is Mrs. Shell.
You might remember me as Miss Johnson if you were in my first class. This fifth grade send-off is very special for me because my very first class of first graders will be going to middle school next year. It has been so fun to watch you grow and mature into the people that you are now. First grade is where you became readers and, more importantly, thinkers. You learned how to take what you read in a story and give your thoughts and opinions about the characters in a book. You took those same skills and used them in the classroom. You learned to stop and think so you could make good decisions throughout your day. It wasn't always easy to make those choices, but you learned that making the right choice always helps in the end. Take these skills we taught you in first grade with you as you head to middle school. The first grade team wishes you the best of luck and can't wait to see what you accomplish.
Thank you, Mrs. Shell. And speaking for second grade, Mrs. Emerson.
Congratulations, fifth graders. In second grade, you learned a lot about life from your friends and books, because that is when your reading really took off. You learned about friendship and how to solve problems from Arthur and his friends. You learned loyalty from your best friend with four legs and Henry and Mudge. You learned you could travel anywhere and do anything you set your mind to, from Jack and Annie and their magic treehouse. You learned to believe in yourself from Flat Stanley, and he was flat. You could do anything, even fly. And best of all, you learned that no matter how small you may be or how young you are, you can make a difference in the world just like the littles did. So as you go off to sixth grade and beyond, take these friends and memories from Legend Elementary in your heart. They believe in you. We believe in you. And as Arthur says, believe in yourself. That's the place to start. Best of luck from your second grade teachers, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Emerson. Now speaking for third grade, Mrs. Snyder.
Good evening, boys and girls, and congratulations. Today marks the end of your time here at Legend Elementary, which breaks our heart. Can you imagine 6 years ago when you started kindergarten, you probably didn't know how to read, maybe a little bit, spell, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And here you are. And I got to thinking as I was sitting over there, think about the hundreds of books that you have read already in your 6 years in elementary school. In third grade, we talk about the characters in books, and specifically the character traits that actually support and create a character. Today I want to talk to you about not the character in a book, but the character in your book. You see, in third grade we're working with these books, and it made me think of you. Because they're just blank inside until you put the words and the pictures together. And I like to think of it as this: you've completed your first chapter in your book of life here at Legend Elementary. Those words are already written. Those memories are already ingrained. Now you have the next chapters of your life, and they're just like this book, blank pages. So as you think about character traits, I want you to think about the character that you are, because you're the main character in this book, your book of life. And a character trait isn't something you're born with. It's not something that parents can make you do. They're very good at maybe modeling, but it's a choice of the kind of character that you want to be. On honest, respectful, responsible. Those are choices that you have the opportunity to make. So I wish you the very best, and on behalf of the third grade team, we look forward to seeing where your book of life takes you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Snyder. Speaking for our fourth grade team, Mrs. Stino.
Good evening, fifth graders. Last year in fourth grade, we learned many things, such as being a good team member, choosing just right books, long division, and in social studies, we learned about landmarks. In my message to you, I hope you can pick out some of those key landmark terms. As you continue on your school career, just know that you will run into some hills along the way, even some true mountains. But don't turn around and give up. Figure out a way to climb over them. Sometimes that might mean you will have to take a deep breath, dust yourself off again, and start all over. Always remember that you are not on an island all by yourself. There are people surrounding you, so don't be afraid to ask for help. There are so many people out there who are rooting for you and want to see you succeed. On behalf of the fourth grade team, we wish you all the very best. And just like a volcano, we know you are bursting with excitement as you move on to your next chapter in your school career. Congratulations, and you will be missed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Stino. Our fifth grade team, Miss Knight. Miss Knight, would you be first? And the other members of the team, you can also come up.
I can't believe this year is over already. It seems as if we were just getting started and just getting to know each other. And here you are, on your way out the door for summer break, and then on to middle school. You've learned so many things in your time at Legend. With every year, you've become a little more independent, and I bet you can still remember your first day here.
Legend, and maybe you've had some tough times too, but you made it through. Learning many lessons along the way, you are now ready for your next big steps. As you prepare for this next big step that you are taking next door, I ask that you do a few things. I ask that you remember the lessons that you have learned and the friends that you've made here at Legend, and to dedicate yourself to making next year even better.
Remember that you don't have to follow the crowd. You have to do the right thing, even if no one is looking. You should study hard and know that you're investing in yourself with every test you take and every book you read. A great man once said, it takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to your friends. I hope that you remember that as you journey on to middle school.
And finally, don't be in too big a hurry to grow up. These are some of the great times in your life. Don't rush past them. I hope you are excited for the many wonderful things that are coming your way. We know that you are ready. You will do great, and remember, you will always be at home here at Legend.
Thank you, fifth grade team. Appreciate those wonderful words. We have several other people that have a couple words to say to you for our intervention team. Mrs. Mathis is going to speak.
Congratulations, fifth graders, and also to you parents and families. It's quite an accomplishment. While you've been with us at Legend, you've learned that every person has value, that we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. We all learn in different ways, and most importantly, we all have something to contribute. You've learned to be understanding and accepting of each other's differences. As you leave us, we want you to remember that each one of you has the potential to make a difference in your classmates' lives by accepting each other for who they are, asking yourself how the other person might feel, and by treating each other with respect and value. We wish you much success as you go off to middle school. Come back and see us. We can hardly wait to hear about all of your accomplishments. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Mathis. Our literacy staff, Mrs. Shi will be speaking.
Kindness is the act or the state of being kind, marked by goodness and charitable behavior, mild disposition, pleasantness, tenderness, and concern for others. It is known as a virtue and recognized as a value in many cultures and religions. Mother Teresa says kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless. Ralph Waldo Emerson is quoted, "You cannot do a kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late." Henry James has said, "Three things in human life are important. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. The third is to be kind. And finally, kind hearts are the gardens. Kind thoughts are the roots. Kind words are the flowers. Kind deeds are the fruits. Take care of your garden and keep out the weeds. Fill it with sunshine, kind words, and kind deeds." These are words from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Here at Legend, we have seen your acts of kindness in the classroom, in the hallways, in specials, and at recess. We have recognized your acts of kindness with an eagle or even a dog tag. Continue to be kind as you enter middle school. Continue to show tenderness and concern for others as you grow in life. You will be rewarded, and that's a promise.
Thank you, Mrs. G. I'd ask that our special area teachers stand. Mr. Richards is not able to be with us this evening, but Mrs. Badger, our art teacher, and Mrs. Alexander, who you saw earlier directing the students as they were singing. We appreciate everything you do. Do you have a statement for the students? And if you do not, that is okay. I just didn't introduce you earlier, so I wanted to make sure that I introduced you now. Thank you so much. We are now moving on to the presentation of the certificates to the students, and we're going to start with Mr. Morrison, please. And I'm going to ask the audience if you'll please hold your applause until the end of Mr. Morrison's class, and then we'll give them all a rousing round of applause. As Mr. Morrison's getting ready, let's do his microphone here for a minute. You'll see me handing the students a special book this evening. This is a book called The 365 Days of Wonder, and it is a book of quotes. And we have been listening every morning to quotes from this book, quotes about kindness, courage, friendship, and love. And all of the students will be receiving a copy of this along with their certificate this evening.
Autumn Cassidy. Nick Gronberg. Sophia Bird. Jordan Jacks. Peyton Kincaid. Haley Kinzer. Ava Rickett. Preston Lunsford. Elijah McAlpin. Kira Madison. Lillian Mulvis. Mackenzie Overton. Haley Pursley. Riley Richards. Cody Smith. Haley Thompson. And Jalen White.
Mrs. Davis, would you please come forward?
Landon. Emma. Hannah. Nicole. Autumn. Jordan. Michaela. Dan. Hoyt. Luke. Danny. Jackson.
Wyatt Anderson. Kaya Bailey. Sean Breckville. Delaney Farber. Allison Hammond. Julia Hodges. Ava James. Olivia Key. Austin Kincaid. Braden Covey. Meredith Pyle. Jake Quackenbush. Mason Reed. Caleb Rice. Kale Saunders. Alexia Schumann. Ethan Sweddle. Zayden Thomas. Emily Tracy. Zoe Traeger. And Harrison Walsh.
Emma Bolte. Braden Busso. Hannah Bies. Chloe Clark. Isaac Bird. Katie Gard. Carter Grove. Hunter Hammond. William Koser. Allie Long. Titus McGee. Luke Miller. Debbie Montgomery. Sidel Moran. Molly Nunemaker. Alexis Reimer. Carly Samples. Ashton Starling. Allie Taylor.
Thank you, teachers and students. There's only one thing left on the agenda, and it's closing remarks from Mrs. Cooper. And when you came to us as kindergartners, or kindergartners wherever you started kindergarten, not all of you started kindergarten here at Legend, probably the first thing that happened in kindergarten class was a teacher read you a book. Well, the final thing that you are going to exit elementary school with is reading you a book. It's a short one, it's one you already know, It's a book that I read to you, I think you might have been in 3rd grade or 4th grade. It is called Life. It's written by Cynthia Rylant, and it's got a great message for you this evening. Life begins small. I'm not going to show you all the pictures, just hard for everybody in the back to see it too, so I'm just going to read the words this time. Life begins small, even for elephants, then it grows. Beneath the sun and the moon, life grows. Ask any animal on earth, what do you love about life? The hawk will say, sky. The camel will say, sand. The snake will say, grass. The turtle may remain quiet. It has seen much in its 100 years. But the turtle loves life. How could it not, with so much rain on its back? Luckily, the so much rain is on our roof right now. Life is not always easy. There will probably be a stretch of wilderness now and then. But wilderness eventually ends, and there is always a new road to take. Remember this, in every corner of the world, there is something to love and something to protect. And if one day it seems nothing beautiful will ever come your way again, trust the rabbit in the field and the deer who crosses your path. Trust the wolf and the wild geese who find their way back home. All these know something about life, that everything is changing, and it is worth waking up in the morning to see what might happen. Because life begins small and grows. You are at a real jumping off spot, and your life is going to be changing. You will be coming to Legend Elementary to start the school year next year. You'll be going to Liberty Middle School or another middle school, and you have so much of life ahead of you. All of the staff at Legend Elementary wish you the best of luck on a beautiful life ahead of you. Thank you, boys and girls. We're talking a lot about what the teachers are advising you and giving you, but I want to also say thank you to you, and the thank you is for all that you have given to us adults here at Legend Elementary with your spirit, your kindness, your love, and your hard work. We appreciate you all. Thank you, and let's give them a final round of applause. I have one last thing to do before I let you head back to the cookies and the punch and reunite with your families. And Hannah, I'm going to ask you to come up if you would. She's wondering what's going on here. Just stand here for just a second. I'm going to ask you to give a rose to your teacher, Mrs. Davis, please. Quentin, if you'll come up, please. They don't know this is happening, so if they're looking a little surprised, that's okay. Thank you, Quentin, for giving the rose to your teacher, Mr. Morrison. Isaac, would you come up? Would you give this rose to your teacher, Miss Knight? And Alexis, you're on the end back there. Would you come up, please? Would you please give the rose to Mrs. Reimer, your teacher? And Reese, I'm going to ask you to step up if you would. And our final rose is for Mrs. Alexander for doing such a great job preparing you and your music selections this evening. Thank you. please. Turn around, face your families in the back. When I say 1, 2, 3, a big thank you. 1, 2, 3.